Now, the city of Joplin, Missouri rebuilds and remembers 1 year after it was leveled by a deadly twister. This was Joplin 1 year ago after a tornado packing 200-mile-an-hour winds tore through town. It killed 161 people, injured hundreds more, and destroyed 8,000 buildings, many of them homes. This is how the city of 50,000 looks today. 3 million cubic yards of debris have been hauled away. Damaged homes have been torn down, leaving empty foundations. Others have been rebuilt, but at a cost. The storm caused $2.8 billion in damage, the costliest tornado since 1950. And emotional, physical, and psychological scars remain.
Normal is not normal in Joplin, Missouri, but one day it will be.
Joplin High School was severely damaged in the storm, as were 10 other public schools in the area. Classes moved to a nearby mall. With donations from the United Arab Emirates, students received new laptops and state-of-the-art equipment. But life after the storm continues to be an adjustment.
We don't have books anymore, laptops now. Everything's been different. Nothing has been the same, except for that it's school. We call it school.
Last night, President Obama told graduating seniors they would always carry the experience of the past year with them.
Some of life's strongest bonds are the ones we forge when everything around us seems broken. And even though I expect that some of you will ultimately end up leaving Joplin, I'm pretty confident that Joplin will never leave you.
Today, city leaders broke ground on Joplin High's new building, as well as on 2 other new schools. Joplin High Principal Carrie Saketa spoke recently of the importance of providing students with some sense of normalcy. He was interviewed by Ozarks Public Broadcasting as part of a documentary about life in Joplin now.
We wanted them to be able to say, you know what, I was in this club, I was in this organization, I was on this team, I was in this concert, or whatever activity, and not to be able to look back and say, this tornado not only destroyed our town, but it also wiped out everything I can remember about what was important to me growing up.
The city has had to make other big adjustments as well. The tornado reduced St. John's Regional Medical Center to a shell. Since then, a smaller interim facility, Mercy Hospital, has been built down the road, while work on a permanent replacement continues. But demand often outpaces resources.
The availability of beds is just difficult. So if somebody needs to be hospitalized, say that an elderly patient comes in and has pneumonia, and we always keep those for a couple of days to make sure we can get them well. Many times we've had to go as far as Kansas City to find a bed to be able to put them in.
Aaron Brown is lead pastor of St. Paul's United Church, which lost its sanctuary in the storm. He says for many, the trials brought on by the storm made them stronger.
Being a person of faith doesn't ever insulate you from tragedy or harm. What God's promise is clearly in Scripture, and what Jesus conveys is that I will be with you through the storm. I will be with you when the tragedy hits. I will be with you as you pick through the rubble. I'll be with you as you stand at the graveside of the person that you love. I will be with you.
Commemorations continued this afternoon with a walk of unity, including Missouri Governor Jay Nixon and many of the city's residents. Now we get a first-hand account about life in Joplin today from Jane Cage. She's a longtime businesswoman, and she leads the Citizens Advisory Recovery Team. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thanks for being interested in Joplin today.
I see you wearing that T-shirt with a 1 on it. Explain where you've been and what that T-shirt means.
Sure, this T-shirt means 1 year, 1 community, 1 direction, and today is the 1-year anniversary of the tornado. And I've just come from the Walk of Unity, where there are literally thousands of people walking across Joplin. The parade must have stretched half a mile or more. It's incredible.
In the year of Joplin's recovery, what has been the most difficult part?
I think the immensity of it. When you look at how long the destruction was and how wide it was, there's just so much to do. That, there's so many houses to rebuild, there's so much to think our way through. There's just a lot going on, but I think we're making great progress.
And as you look back over these past 12 months, what would you say is the greatest accomplishment so far?
I think the greatest accomplishment so far is, number one, the number of people that we've been able to bring back home, and probably number two, the fact that we opened school on time and have had great attendance all year long, even in very trying circumstances.
Now, I should tell our viewers that the Chamber of Commerce named you the Citizen of the Year in 2012. So as citizens have been involved, if citizens have been involved in this recovery, there comes a point where people get a little tired of always giving or of always helping with recovery. Has that happened in Joplin as well?
I think everybody's been tired at one point or another along the way, but everybody's pushing through it, because if you were here every day and could see what we see on the ground, and the amount of progress that we make, it's really very encouraging.
But you didn't lose your home and you didn't lose your business, so why bother?
Why? Oh my gosh, I always said that I live at the corner of fortunate and guilty. I'm really fortunate that I can go home at night, and when I think of all the people that I know that lost someone they loved, or lost their house, or lost their business, or lost all three, I have the time to do this kind of work compared to people who are trying to put their lives back together. I don't have to decide, where to buy a house, about furniture. I don't have to replace a car. I don't have to deal with insurance people. I have time.
So what exactly have you been doing in a hands-on way?
I go to a lot of meetings and I facilitate a lot of groups. So that's probably the number one answer. But, our job has been to listen to the public, and so we've done that through a number of public input meetings. We had one just less than 2 months after the tornado, and we had 350 people come and tell us what they believe the future should be like. And that's pretty amazing, considering people were still trying to get their life back together. And now I see our job is to be an advocate for what we heard people wanted Joplin to be like.
No community can survive without a functioning, working hospital, especially in times of disaster. The comeback of the hospital alone was quite something.
It is, isn't it? I used to be chairman of the board here at St. John's, and you can see what's left of it behind me. But, in less than 2 weeks, we had a field MASH hospital up and running. Then we moved to modular units, and then just about a month ago, we moved into kind of a pre-built unit with 2 floors that has about 120 beds, and we've broken ground out a little further south on $500 million worth of hospitals. So their commitment to the community has just been beyond belief.
One of the other iconic images we all remember from those awful first days was the flattened Home Depot. How has the business community recovered in this past year?
The big box stores along Range Line, our big commercial segment, Academy is back, Home Depot is back, Walgreens was back in a matter of maybe 3 months. Chick-fil-A is back, Academy Sports is back. Those big box stores are doing really well. It's taken a little longer for mom and pop shops to come to terms with everything and deal with their insurance, but we're seeing those come back as well.
So we've been looking backward. Let's look forward. What is it that you would like to see happen in the next 12 months or the next 12 years in your city?
It's interesting. I filled out a thing about what I wanted to be, how I wanted to see Joplin in 50 years. And in 50 years, I said, I hope that nobody can tell we ever had a tornado. In the next 12 months, I'm hoping that we'll see more forward progress, that we'll see the high school being built, the hospital being built, that we'll be able to make some decisions about making the city greener and more attractive. And then in the next 12 years, I hope we'll see that happen. It's a long process.
What does it take for that to happen? Do you still need help from outside? Do you still need help from the federal government? In your case, you got help from some foreign governments as well. What has to happen for all of your dreams to come true, as it were?
I will tell you, and I've said this many times, we're working as hard as we can work. And we're doing our very best. We're not waiting on help to arrive, but it's obvious because of the large nature of this task, we need help still. We've gotten some wonderful gifts. The United Arab Emirates gave $5 million to the hospital just this week for a new neonatal intensive care unit. And we've gotten money from all around. I would say we're probably the #1 destination for mission trips for the summer, who are helping us rebuild low to moderate income housing for Habitat for Humanity and lots of other great faith-based organizations. But we have a lot to do, and we're going to need people for a while, and we're going to continue to need resources for a while.
Well, Jane Cage, the 2012 Joplin Citizen of the Year, thank you so much for all the work you've done.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Everybody's working hard, not just me.